Hey, Shalom, Shalom. We are a portion of the Diligent Soldiers Camp out here in Boston. And first and foremost, before we get started, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, taught us the truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, our fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, we want to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And we hope and pray that this lesson be edifying, comforting, exhorting to the elect, man.
Right. That's right.
So the name of this lesson through the Spirit will be Memory Lane, you know, and that was all through the Spirit, for you brothers and sisters that know Nas, me and his brother or love the artist, Nas, been listening to him since we were younger and everything, and that was off a song from his first album, Illmatic. And I went for my morning walk that I like to do just to go by the pond, clear my mind, think about the Lord, look at his creations and everything. And I was playing that song and just walking, and it came to mind how beautiful it is that the Lord, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, put us back in remembrance of them because we had lost it. We had as the scriptures say, felt discontinued from our heritage, as the Lord said to Jeremiah. This is I'll read this real quick. Jeremiah 17:4.
Right.
Thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Right? So as a nation, this is, at the time when this was told to Jeremiah, he knew he was an Israelite. So the
Right.
curses that had to come is that we would discontinue from our heritage. We will forget who we were. And
Mm-hmm.
matter of fact, bro, if you could grab, because this is also for one of the kind of back to the basics type of lessons too
Right.
for any new
Right.
listeners. These devils were confederate against us. This was all the Lord's doing, as the scriptures say, man's goings are of the Lord. Proverbs
One
Proverbs
and
21:1
oh,
told
21.
me, yep, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord. He turneth
Yep.
it whithersoever he will.
That's
So
right.
Lord is controlling these devils. So the Lord made Psalms 83. If you can grab that, brother Baba Shah. Psalms 83 and where is it at? Do I have it up here? Start at I thought I had it pulled up.
I'm gonna start at two or
Yeah,
at one.
two. Yeah, I think it's two. Yeah, two. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. It says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the
Right.
name of Israel may be no more in remembrance."
So our name would be no more in remembrance. We were calling ourselves Black, Latino, Native American, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Salvadorian, you know, Haitian,
Hmm.
Jamaican, Trinidadian, everything except what we actually are,
Right,
the 12 tribes of Israel.
right,
So the Lord had to put that back into our remembrance. So
right,
we had to go through this period to appreciate how great of a people we already were and
right,
are,
right, right,
but we just, we had to because we sinned against the Lord.
right.
And we always bring out Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter goes into the blessings and the curses, you know. So this is if you can grab Jude 1 and 5.
Jude 1 and 5.
Yeah.
Got you, brother. I think I got it open my brother.
God. Because we want to, the purpose of this lesson is to continue to be grateful for us to that know that we're Israelites now, because it was taken from us and the Lord gave it back to us, to the hopeful elect. Put us back in remembrance, though we once knew these things, as the scriptures say.
Right, because that's what the enemy did purposely,
Hmm.
so we could forget our God and our customs, And the Lord forewarned Jeremiah before that,
Right,
before they come that confederate. But that was exactly what he was alluding to. That was going to start off like that, and eventually, because we got beaten down for hundreds of years, man, and it got to a point where even after they stopped beating us, you know what I mean, that Jake was calling himself by their they were going by the last name of their
yeah,
slaves.
slave
You know
masters.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Which is why you get Freedmans and Jacksons and all these different names.
Johnson and all that. Right,
Jake, if so-called black people that are here, mostly from the South or whatever, spread all over the place, if their descendants came from Africa, then why the hell are they Jacksons and all these other different last names I can't even remember at the moment. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Because when they came over here, one thing that Esau does is he registers everything. And when they came over here on slave ships, they was coming over here with Hebrew names.
right,
A lot of them still had some remembrance. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that you definitely pass down is names. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And that was probably one of the last things besides that unction that they always had inside of them, and that drive that they always had for the Lord, no matter what, because our people are very that's one thing that Esau wasn't able to knock out was
right,
that the spirit, but through the spirit of Yahawah Shai, putting these demons on him, he was able to take our identity away from us and keep it from us to the point where
right,
you have people that are proud and will fight you tooth and nail because they're Dominican, they're not black. And then there are people that will fight you tooth and nail, claiming that they're black when that's a color, not a nationality.
right,
So that's the mentality that was shut down. You know what I'm saying? And in order to replace what was there before, or what should have been there.
right. That's the spirit, real quick, brother. Back of what you just said. This is Isaiah. We were just speaking about this. Isaiah 1. Let me see. Yeah, I'll start at 2. Isaiah 1 and 2. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi have spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. Now, this is talking about the Israelites, right? The only nation that the Lord refers to as his children are Israel, man.
That's right.
The children of Israel. That's why that's where it comes from. Children of Israel.
Mhm. That's right.
And it says, and they have rebelled against me. Third verse, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel, that's the subject, doth not know. My people doth not consider.
Right. Hey, and if I may, right, you got nations, all these other nations, because that the ass, and what was the other, the donkey and
The ox and the
the
ass. Yep.
the ox and the ass could be likened unto other nation, could be looked at as other nations. They know who their God is because they have their customs. But the Lord
Right.
chose Israel and
Right.
gave us his statutes and commandments, and that's what made us different from everybody else. That's
Right.
actually what made us. Um, what that's actually what yeah what this that's the difference that makes us from us to the other people, because the other people are like primitive almost, even though
Right.
that word it has to do with like evolution and shit. I don't really like, we don't subscribe to evolution shit here. The Lord created all, but they act that in that manner. What is this
Right.
thing doing? I'm sorry.
There's I'm trying to remember where the scripture is, but as the brother was saying, um, the other nations are likened unto beasts,
Right,
because they don't
right,
have a actual power like we have a power.
right. And so you have these other nations knowing who they are and who they worship or reverence or whatever, right? Whether it's dumb idols and dumb
Right.
gods, right? Obviously, but
Right.
they know they got their own thing. But then you got Jakes that forgot so much so like that about their power, their heritage, that
Right.
they practice worshiping. the gods of these nations, of these other nations.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So when I hear
Right.
that particular scripture, I'm like, I'm hearing these people know who they belong to, but my own people don't know. You know,
Right.
obviously it's what you're reading, but that's basically what I'm saying, hearing and
Right.
understanding.
Can I read this real quick? Just because it goes along with everything that we're talking about. Let's lock it. Oh, perfect. This is Deuteronomy 32. Uh, let me see. I'll start at
You want me to get anything, Ak?
yeah, Baba Kashaw, if you get Deuteronomy 32 and I'm gonna just kind of just let you read through it so we can get the subject matter because that's we can't we gotta see who the Lord is talking to. So this
Khan.
is during the time of Moses after split the Red Sea. So let's see.
You said Deuteronomy 32?
Yep, Deuteronomy 32, and can you start at 15 and read down to 26, Baba
There's the
Shah.
there's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 15. It says, but Jeshurun waxed
Which
fat, and
which
that
if you look up Jeshurun or
Jeshurun. I said Jeshurun, my bad.
yep,
Sure.
which is I where is it at? There it goes. It means upright one, a symbolic name for Israel describing her ideal character. So that's another way of saying Israel or Yasharallah.
You get that, you see?
So it's always about Jake. It's always about Israel. There's so many ways we could go about it to prove it, but this is for newer listeners and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
you brothers out there. So that's
Right, right, right. This is the through the spirit of Yahawah Yahawashi, we're hoping to solidify any doubt that brothers and sisters might be having. You know, newcomers about this. You know, you're hearing a lot of a new awakening, right? You hear that
right,
phrase thrown around a lot, or mentioned a lot by different brothers, and
right,
and that's what we're explaining. We're awakening
right,
to this new information because this is. It turns out that this history, this book, was all about us. You know,
the whole
so
time.
if
Yep,
you listen closely to what I'm reading and what to the brothers trying to communicate, you know what I'm saying, through the scripture, you'll see a pattern and you'll see that we are those people, man. Obviously, because this is going into the remembrance that we haven't even touched on, or even, you know, I mean, I'm sure we have made lessons before, but there's lessons that you could go on talking about specifically about the curses, you know what I mean?
right,
That I found in this book too. That just the curses alone. One of the curses was that it was going to be a sign. You know what I
right,
mean? And
right,
that's how you're going to know who's who, because there was going to be a sign on these people. You know,
right,
things that we're going to
right,
be going through. But back in Deuteronomy 32 and 15, but Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and mighty esteemed and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
right. And who's the rock of our salvation? Yahweh Shai.
Yahawashi.
Right.
Right. Lightly esteemed, meaning they didn't give him all the
Give him the praise.
right,
Yep.
all the praises that he's deserved.
Hmm.
Verse 16 says, they provoked him to jealousy. Hold on, let me highlight this because I've never highlighted these particular scriptures.
Oh yeah,
They
God.
they provoked him to jealousy with strange gods,
Hmm.
with abominations provoked they him to anger. They
Right. So this is everything is all pertaining to why we had to fall away. This
right,
this this is all where we're follow us with this. This is why we're bringing all this out because these are the reasons why we had to remember because it got taken away from us because this is what our people were doing. This is what our forefathers. we're doing, and this is what provoked Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to anger, and this is why we had to discontinue from our heritage. So we had to be brought back into remembrance. That's where
Right.
the ministry of reconciliation comes in.
Right.
To
Right.
reconcile means to become a friend again. And
Right.
how? Through
Right.
Yahawah, his sacrifice. We could be friends of Yahawah because he bid us a bill of divorce because this is what we were doing,
Right.
you know?
Hey, if I could read that real quick in the
Sure.
NIV, Deuteronomy 32 and 16, in NIV, it says, they made him jealous with their foreign gods and
Mm,
angered him with their detestable idols, man. So, like
mm,
I said earlier, you got Israel practicing the customs, right, of and practices, and which includes the worshiping of these different foreign gods from foreign people
right,
outside of the Commonwealth of Israel, and not to switch the subject up, but that made us wicked, man, and made us
right,
heathens,
right. That's right, brother.
you know. So yeah, so back in 17 in Deuteronomy 32:17 in the KJV, it says they sacrifice unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not,
That's
to
right.
new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and has
Not talking
forgotten
about,
God that formed thee. I'll read it in
right,
the NIV if you like.
right,
You
right, God.
deserted the rock
Mm,
who fathered you, who forgot the God who gave you birth. You forgot
right.
the God that gave you birth. Wow.
Yep. We forgot our Heavenly Father and our big
Right.
bro, man.
Right.
And we started worshiping gods that are no God, man. Powers that really aren't a power. They're, as the brother was saying, idols, man.
Right.
No, they actually have no power, but we forgot our one true power that actually
Right. Hit volume. Hit the volume button right quick. Yeah. That's it. Satan don't want you bringing out that info.
right, Khan. How's that?
That's perfect.
Because the scriptures say, how's it go? Ye that have my name, I forget how it's worded, it's a lock here. But Yasharala literally means Yah,
He-
he, Shar, Prince, Allah, power. He, Prince, power. We're princes of the power. Who's the power? Yahawah. Bahasham Yahawashi.
That's right.
So, you know, and Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi gave us the name. Uh, um, first it was Jacob, right? And then it got changed to Israel after he wrestled the angel. And then
Right.
out came the 12 sons of Israel,
Right.
Yasharallah,
That's
you
right.
know? And the Lord, said he put his name on us, man. And we forgot that power, man. But how beautiful it is that the Lord have mercy and remembered his promise to
Uh,
Abraham, you know, Isaac and Jacob, all the way down to his 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel, and brought us back to remembrance, man. Even though we went a whoring after other gods, we played the harlot, as the scriptures say, but the Lord still had mercy on us and still brought us back in through the sacrifice of Yahawashi, shedding his blood, right? For the
right.
elect nation of Israel, and ultimately, as the scriptures say, all Israel will be saved, but
And
that's how we will be brought back, you know, to Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi and brought back into remembrance. You know,
right. Right.
you got it up.
Elect. Yep. Verse 19. And when Yahweh saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very forward generation, in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
And this is what's going on to this very day. You
Right.
know, these heathens ruling over us, man. We're getting punished. We're under these curses, man. You
Mm-hmm.
know, these devils, especially the top one. If we had kept reading in Psalm 83, after what the brother read, how they would take Israel out of remembrance, the name of Israel out of remembrance, roughly paraphrasing. The top nation that's mentioned right after that is Esau. Esau, Edom.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Right.
Moab. Then these Hamite nations, Ishmael, all these nations were confederate against us to take the name of Israel out of remembrance. And the
Right.
Lord did that. That's what the scriptures. The Lord controls everything. He controls both the good and the evil. One of the brother Malak's favorite scriptures, Deuteronomy, what's that, 32 and 39.
Right.
It talks about there should be, I believe it's that one, either that or Amos, but it says evil in the city and the Lord have not done it. I think
Oh no,
that
it's
one might be
Amos. That's
Amos.
Amos.
Yeah, the other
The
one's
32, 39 is fire because he's telling you, I am that God. I am
yeah,
that
there you
dude.
go.
And
Right,
there's nobody else here with me. I'm the one that kills and I'm the one that gives life. And it turns
right,
out also that I'm the one that heal. I'm the one that wounds and I heal. You
right.
know? Because
Both good and evil.
right,
Yep,
everything. I mean, you can't say he's omnipotent, all knowing, and then blame or give all the credit to mere man and or Satan
right,
for the death of wicked ass people, you
right,
know,
right,
and whoever it will behoove you to follow up on these things that we're reading and saying because if you have doubt, you know what I'm saying. The Lord could put the demons on you, man, to actually think like these other wayward camps that think that our oppressors can make it and whatnot, and you're just gonna be punished with them. Though
right.
hand, join in hand, both shall be
The
punished,
wicked
or
shall
the
not
wicked
go
shall not
unpunished.
go unpunished, man.
Right,
So you got your hand near some fire, you're gonna get that shit burnt, man.
that's
You
right,
know,
brother.
you
Can
know.
you
Yeah,
jump down to 26?
yeah, yeah. 20. Let me read 23 and then 26.
Okay, yeah.
23,
Okay,
real
come.
quick. It says, "I will heap mischief upon them. I will
Mm-hmm.
spend mine anger, mine arrows upon. I will spend mine arrows upon them."
Yeah,
Jump down to 26.
destruction's
Says,
coming.
yeah.
Yeah,
26 says, "I said I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them
two
to
seats.
cease." Sorry, I thought it was two words. To cease from among men.
Right. So that was part of the curses because
Right.
we're in Deuteronomy 32, only what, 4 chapters from Deuteronomy 28. The Lord said, Deuteronomy 28 and 64, that he would scatter us to the four corners of the earth. He said it, he reiterated right here. I said, I would scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
Man, if you
So,
read the scripture before that, it says, "The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the sucking also with the man of gray hairs."
right. And it says that in let me get that. That's in Deuteronomy 28 too.
Dang. And
That's
then when you
beautiful.
keep
That's a
reading,
perfect precept. I didn't even
I like how he says in verse 6, "I said,
yeah.
I
Remember what I
said I
said.
will."
Right.
It almost sounds like someone said, "Lord, and so what are you gonna do with them?" I said, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right. Did you hear
I'm
what
gonna
I said?
fuck y'all up. I'm gonna fuck your
Right.
descendants up because y'all niggas don't. Y'all
Right.
hard headed, man.
This is a precept to what you just read, Deuteronomy 28, and I'll start at 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. What nation is known for having the eagle as their national bird? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man,
Right,
and in various uh, kingdoms that they had, the bird, the eagle in particular, was their bird of choice, and that's all through the spirit.
right, right,
As the eagle
right,
flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And this is the point. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. That's literally the
right,
precept. Exactly what the brother was
right,
just reading.
right. And there's plenty of examples of these people. Like I always mention the one I saw on Cops. one time a
Hmm.
long time ago. It was an elderly Jake lady, someone's grandmother, man. You know what I'm saying? Someone's older wife, some older lady, man. She got
Right.
stopped for whatever reason. She had to be escorted to the cop's car. The way he grabbed her by the arm, like between her armpit and her elbow, and kind of like moved her arm up, and she's like she could barely walk that fast, and this nigga's like basically dragging her, bro.
Right.
They don't show no favor to the young or old. That's the old, right? You want an example of the young? How many fucking kids of Jake's? How many children of Jake's die every fucking year from what's that shit called, man?
Abortion.
Sacrificing a Molech, man.
Oh yeah, abortion,
Right,
man. Yeah, don't even come
right.
out the womb yet.
Right,
Yeah.
Maxines all over the fucking
Hmm.
place.
Yep.
Lotions, Johnson and Johnson putting shit that fucking up the children.
Yep.
Tylenol, making
Baby
them
powder. Yeah.
making
Yep.
them autistic. I'll say it like that. But
Hmm.
they don't show no favor to young or old, and
No.
then everybody else in between. Of course, they don't show no goddamn favor. They don't even care about their own. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Which is why the Lord's going to destroy them because the scripture says, "He who is evil to himself."
Whom shall he do good?
To whom shall he do good? The answer to that is to nobody. But then right
Right.
after it says he shall not take pleasure in his doings, something along those lines. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like this nigga's not, even though he's fucking people over, because for you to make it on top, for you to become a millionaire, billionaire, you have to fuck people over. Certain people gotta
Yeah.
get fired, some people gotta be, their contracts gotta get fucked up. Certain shit, you're gonna step on toes. Then nobody made millions of dollars, without somebody suffering or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Um, and so that's their mentality, man. I forget where I was gonna go with that one, that last one. Um, but yeah, I'll just pass the ball back to you, man.
Yeah.
But
But I
um,
mean, but it just us being able to have this understanding of why it's so
mm,
beautiful that the Lord put the spirit on brothers to be back in remembrance, because we would
right?
never be able to have a conversation like this when we was in the world, man.
Oh, not at all,
Impossible. We
man.
didn't we
I
wouldn't
think
know what we were talking about.
the deepest I probably got with any, talking about the Bible in the street in the hood, was probably talking about the apocalypse. So in the book of Revelations, and everything we was talking about was 950% inaccurate. Nothing we was
Yeah, we
saying,
didn't have that. Yeah, we didn't
we
have
didn't
that,
have
that breath.
nothing. But
Yeah,
we
we didn't
did
have that
know,
breath.
but
Hmm.
we did know that something was coming. Now that's
Right,
one
right.
thing
We
about
knew that
Jake.
much.
Once in the
Right,
blue, you will have that one Jake that you'd be like, oh, you waiting for somebody to come save you, or I think they call him Sky Daddy or some shit like that. You know what I mean? You got wicked ass fucking people, man. Jake that are so
right,
far
right.
gone that they'll say anything, man, and they're sincerely convinced that whatever they're saying can't hurt them. Just like we could be in front of Christians and say the word JC and spit on the floor, and
Mm-hmm.
ain't no thunderbolt gonna come from the sky and kill us for
Right.
doing
That's
that.
not his.
But we
Right. That's
wouldn't
not his
provoke
name.
the Lord in His name. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Exactly.
At
Exactly.
all. Cause I I'm not gonna say I guarantee a thunderbolt won't come. But some kind of destruction is gonna come.
Oh, it's
You
definitely
know,
coming, but but
something's coming.
right. But for
You
that
fuck around,
example,
curse out the
we don't.
Lord or something. He's gonna fuck you
Right.
up.
Yeah, we don't fear the name JC.
Yeah,
We fear
yeah,
the
yeah.
name Yahawah by Shemi
That's
Awashai.
right. That's right. We abhor the name Jay Z.
Right.
J. I said Jay Z, JC,
And Jay Z, both of them.
and Jay Z. Them, all them demons.
Both demons.
Right.
Did
Yeah, because
you
that
read
motherfucker calls himself Jehovah or Hova, which is
right,
a whole nother
exactly.
demon.
Right. Did we read
Oh,
Jude
yeah.
yet?
No, let's get in there.
Okay, yeah,
Let's
con,
get
con.
that. I got it
Yeah.
open. Did I get
We'll
it?
read a few more, we'll wrap it up.
Right. Con. Let me see.
Like it's gonna
I had
come.
it open. Matter of fact, I think you sent it to me. I'll just read it from our conversations we had.
Okay.
This is the book. Just that one verse, or you want me to open it up in another book?
Yeah, just that one verse, because I have Baruch 2 and 30. If you can grab that after this one.
I got you. 2 and 30. This is the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 5. It says, I will therefore put you in remembrance,
Hmm?
though you once knew this,
Yep.
how that the Lord have saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroy them that believe not.
Right. So we would have to be put back in remembrance because we knew this. We knew
Right.
who we were. all this is the only captivity where we don't know where who we were, and
Right.
that's what when we read in Jeremiah, that's what the Lord was talking about when Jeremiah would come back, which proves yet another thing, proves reincarnation. They said that the Lord said that He would discontinue from His heritage. How is He going to discontinue if He knows who He is while He's
Right.
walking the earth? You know?
Right. Yeah. Jeremiah had to for a split second be like, "Wait, what do you mean?" Or you knowing that our people knew about reincarnation,
Mhm.
it was either that or it was either, "Wait, Lord, you saying I'm gonna forget in the next half hour who I am?"
Right, right.
Or you
Yeah,
talking
he
about
probably
in the future when I reincarnate?
right,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
And I like to think it was the latter end. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty
Right,
sure he knew that that's what he meant. He probably was like, "Oh, say it ain't so, Lord." You
right.
know, like I'm gonna come back and forget I'm a Israelite. Oh my God, you gonna have me out
Yeah,
here like a heathen? Ah,
yep,
God. You
yep.
know, that shit will
And
fuck
that,
anybody, any Israelites day up.
oh man, yeah. To know the power, our power, and how great
Listen,
of a
that shit was
people we
probably
are.
weighing. That shit was probably weighing on Jeremiah too. Like, damn,
Oh, I'm sure. Damn.
like the Lord just dropped that one on me an hour ago.
Yeah, trying to
What's
get
up with
through
all
the
these
day.
flags on the food?
Right,
at the same at the same time.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Eating the
Yeah,
defiled
God.
food, and the Lord just dropped that big rock on him. Like, yo,
Yeah,
what? I'm gonna forget when is that gonna
yep,
happen? You know, like, and now we only say that because now that we understand, we could kind of put our mind to what maybe how in their mind, like our we could get in their shoe, we could walk in their shoes for a second or something like
right,
that.
right,
Trying to
right,
say, we could think how more or less how they were thinking, but it was impossible for them to think how we would be thinking in the future or how they would be thinking in the future.
right,
You know what I mean? The
right,
only thing they knew about the future is that they were going to be in it some way somehow. You know,
right. But they
but
didn't know how it was gonna play out, and then
right, but understanding this gives us comfort, man. Like you always
right,
say, man.
right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read this real quick before you get that Baruch.
yeah. I got
Uh,
Baruch ready for you.
sec, uh, 2 Peter 3:1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance.
I
You
had that
know,
one. You got you
you
got
got that
ahead of me,
one?
but go ahead.
Yeah.
That's fire.
God. Actually, let me get this. Where is it at? This one too. Baruch 4:28. For as it was your mind to go astray from
Mhm.
the Most High, so being returned, remembering, seek Him 10 times more. Right? So we're supposed to seek the ways of the old, as the scriptures say. Why? Because we forgot. We forgot who we were. So now, being returned, seek the Lord 10 times more, which 10 goes into perfection. You know, we're supposed to, remember, and I'm saying it to myself, you know, as well, how much of a gift, a beautiful gift that we've been given to not only know that we're Israelites, to understand, to have faith, because faith is a gift, as the scriptures say, and be thankful that the Lord had His only begotten Son and Yahawashi doing what Yahawashi did, suffering the cross, so that we could be returned onto
Yeah.
Yahawah and Yahawashi, man. You got to be thankful for that. We have to remember how beautiful it is that we're able to go down this memory lane right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Peter said it. Peter said it in that same chapter. Wait, you read Second Peter's 3, right?
Yeah. If
Second
you want to
Peter's.
go down, so I got the first verse.
Well, if you go to Second Peter's, actually you're in 3, but if you go to Second Peter's 1 and 12 and 13, it tells you, it says, "Wherefore I will not be negligent," right? Because so Peter's talking to these men, and he's mentioning things that he had previously written or spoke to them about, or other men have spoken and written about,
Hmm.
right? So he's saying, "Wherefore I will not be negligent to put you always in remembrance of these things, though ye
Hmm.
know them." Right? It says know, not known, know them.
Yeah. Know
But
them.
if you keep reading, it says, and be established in the present truth, right? In the present, just like we're doing now. We're talking about the things from the past, but in the present, and we're
Right.
and we're connecting them to the things of the present. And it says,
Right.
verse 13, it says, "Yeah, I think it meets, meet, meaning good. I think it good as long as I am in this tabernacle, this house, this body, to
Right.
stir you up by putting you in remembrance, man. In remembrance
Con,
of whatever he was talking to you, talking to them about at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And in remembrance, because the Lord Himself, Yahawashi Himself, quoted the Old Testament. I think it was like over 100 times. Over 100 times he quoted the Old Testament. Constantly bringing things up, man, to maintain that level of mentality and understanding of the things that
right,
were written before, and why that present time when the Lord was walking on earth, why those things had to be mentioned at that time, and it's the same reasons why they have to be mentioned now.
right.
Jake forget. Jake is we
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest things with us is we have a very short attention span. I'm the
Right.
leader of that. I think I'm in the front row. I burp and I'll forget something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was I talking about? You know what I mean? But it's through the spirit of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi that I've gotten better at that, especially when it comes to speaking, making lessons, or speaking on this side at camp, or speaking with brothers. You know what I mean? Like the things of the Lord, when the Spirit is working with you, you don't forget. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
don't forget those things, man. And remembrance, man. As the
Remembrance.
title reads, man.
Right.
You
I
know?
got this one. Just because I quoted it, and then yeah, maybe you bring out that Baruch 2:30. We'll wrap it up. This is Jeremiah 6:16. Says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahawah Bashim Yahushai, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths." Right, that memory lane, man.
Right.
Remembrance, right?
Right.
Where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls, as the brother quoted said earlier. This is rest unto our souls, man. Knowing now that we know we're Israelites, we have hope. We have a place of belongings now. When we was in the world, we didn't, we were always searching for where we belong, but the whole time it was here, and we now the Lord brought it back to our remembrance that, oh, we are these people,
That's right.
you know.
Right.
And it says the last part, it says, but they said, because the 2/3 of our people, they're not going to find rest for their souls on this side because they choose not to listen. It says,
Right.
but they said, we will not walk therein. So that's on them. But for the
Right. That's on them.
brothers, yeah, us sincere brothers, we're looking for the old ways, the old paths. you
Right.
know, we look
We
for
see the
new heavens
perilous
and new
times
earth.
coming, man, and we
Right,
we know that because man, that first feeling that we all got when we first came into this, that like the Lord solidifying, like, yeah, you're an Israelite, and you
right,
realizing that was like this warm feeling from the
right,
top of your head all the way to their toes, man, to the plant, to the sole of your feet.
right,
You feel
right,
like this special feeling, like I'm not who I thought I was this whole time, you know what I'm saying? And who I
right,
thought I was this whole time was just false, you know what I mean? And it's a
right,
beautiful feeling, man. It's a
right,
beautiful
brother.
feeling. So that remembrance, even that first time, that first sensation, which I was talking about, that we overseas, man, is beautiful, man. And
Right,
you can't really even describe it, and you can't mimic it or anything, bro. Like once you got it, once you experienced it, that's it. And now
right,
you have to maintain this truth,
right, right,
and it's only gonna feel even better when we go to that next phase, or that next when we elevate to that next phase, which is when the Lord comes and redeem us, man. And in
right,
the
brother.
twinkling of an eye, we're changed, man, and
Uh,
everything feels and
beautiful.
smells different.
Yeah, beautiful. Uh, yeah, if you can read that, yeah, we'll close out on that Baruch 2, brother.
Salakia. Okay, what was that?
2 and Baruch 2:30.
Okay, yeah, I have it open right here. Baruch chapter 2, verse 30 says, "For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves."
Right. So and we're yet this day in our captivity, as the scriptures
That's
say. And this is where we were told by the men that Yahawah Bashim Yahushai set up, the men of apostles, the elders, the GMS, and like-minded brothers on down. They brought out this word and reminded us of who we are, because it was taken from us, you know. And
right.
now we're in this captivity, and we're remembering ourselves, going, back into the title of the lesson, down memory lane, man. Remembrance, you know. So
Right, brother.
and as I said, we have to be thankful, for Yahawah Yahawashi extending that mercy, the sheer mercies of David, you know, to us, and especially in these times when Esau has gone above and beyond to take everything from us, man, everything, you know, including who we are, you know. So you got anything, brother?
No, okay, I think we made the point. We went from not knowing who we were to knowing, and we can't take it lightly. We can't think this is a phase. This is a what's that shit called, fad or whatever. This is the truth of
Yeah,
the Lord. Yeah, if you're feeling this truth, if the truth is resonating with you, man, it's the Lord bringing you back to your remembrance, man. If it's making sense to you, if you're feeling things that you ain't never like the certain feeling of realization,
right,
knowing that what you're hearing is truthful, even though you have to maybe go and fact check it. We encourage that. We
right,
encourage
yep,
fact checking, man, because
right. Don't
our
take our
our
word for it.
our
Right,
apostles told us to do the same and look up words and stuff. And
right,
we're what's it called? We're holding fast to what we're holding strong and tight to what they taught us, because we know who taught us, and we know that's the truth. We were already
right.
persuaded, and this remembrance, man. We don't want the Lord to take it from us, man.
That's right.
We
That's
don't want
right,
the Lord
brother.
to take it from us, man. So it's important to have and to maintain.
Right. So we that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think we made the point. We hope and pray that this lesson was edifying
Right,
and comforting. You
right,
know, to know that who we are. We coming back to remembrance, memory lane. And after this kingdom falls, it's going to be nothing but a place full of all goodly things, as the scriptures say, man.
right,
Those
right,
that
man.
were on that first go around to be receive salvation and start to begin to see the kingdom of heaven being built on earth as it is in heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right, that's
Yep.
the spirit. Look what it says behind me. I don't know if it's spelling it backwards, but it spells
Gather.
gather.
Yeah, we're
The
hoping to
Lord
be a
is
part of the elect to be gathered up for salvation, man.
gathering us. Yeah, is it gathering us right now? He's gathering us right now through
Gathering us right
the
now.
remembrance.
Right. The remembrance. Yep. So we
You
hope
know.
and pray this lesson was
Right.
edifying, comforting, exhorting, to you sincere brothers and true sisters out there.
That's right.
I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Yahawashi,
Bahasham,
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 Shakadosh.
Bahasham.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught us the truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting to the fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. Salutation, our fellow brethren that are pushing his word and all truth and sincerity. To you all, we
Right.
want to say shalom,
Shalom.
abab abal,
Baba Bull.
and kwam yasharal.
Kwam Yasharala.
Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters, to the next one.
Shalom. Akim. Shalom. Akim.
Shalom.